Cute.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right. Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. I am meeting this extraordinary couple for the first time today, and this is how I found out about them. So I'm participating in a raw food bundle. I'm not raw, I went to raw culinary school. I ate a lot of raw food though, and I had contributed some product to it. And when I got the bundle, I was blown away by their two books. Their books sell for like $43 on Amazon, but for $49, you not only get those books, but like 60 other books and $1,600 worth of content. But these two books were my favorite. And what was so cool about them is you don't have to be raw to eat the kind of food that were in these books, because one was based on ice cream. Everybody eats ice cream, right? And one was based on burgers. Everybody eats burgers. And the photography is so beautiful. We're going to show it to you, but we're also going to have them make some recipes from the book. Lissa's going to make a Hawaiian pizza burger. Nate's going to be making pineapple ice cream. Get the tropical thing. It goes together. And Lissa's going to tell you her story of healing and losing, I believe, 70 pounds. So please welcome to the show, Nate and Lissa. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, Chef AJ, for having us on your show. It is such a pleasure to meet you. It's been so long that we've been following you and stuff, so it's so great that we can be on here and share this and meet, hang out. I love it.
Well, thank you so much. Well, you already have fans on because Rachel says, Lissa, you are a goddess. I absolutely love your energy. I've been following you forever. So we're going to get more people following you once they find out your story for sure. And the way you can, well, what do you call it? Raw, uncook?
Yeah, uncook, prepare.
Yeah. Did you go straight from standard American diet to raw, or did you have any steps of veganism or vegetarianism along the way?
I kind of did a mix of both. So I discovered raw in 2004. And then for the next 10 years, I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to do a raw diet because I always resonated with it, but I was always doing super high fat and I wasn't eating enough. Like my salads were little. I'd have like 2 avocados with my bananas in my smoothie. So, and lots of nuts, handfuls of nuts, not enough fruit, not enough greens. And I would feel better because I wasn't eating the junk. But then I was just like, why don't I feel awesome? So I would fall off and then I'd do something else. I've done lots of other diets and that, but I did in 2012 or 2013, I did a 2-month keto challenge at the gym and I had no energy. I was sent home from the gym twice by my trainer because I just didn't have enough energy. I was eating 800 calories a day and she was approving it. And I was just like, whew. After 2 months of that, I started like binging on potato chips and fast food. And I went off the deep end after that. So the restriction caused me to go on this crazy whirlwind of junk food and alcohol and 2 energy drinks most days, lots of coffees, bag of Doritos for breakfast. Like I went off the deep end. I was eating a lot of junk. So I ballooned up to almost 200 pounds. And one night, because I was like waking up with heart flutters and heart palpitations, I was feeling like I was having a heart attack in the middle of the night. And eventually this one night I woke up and I was like, I can't do this anymore. One day I'm actually going to have a heart attack in my sleep. And I was only 34 at the time. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I'm just going to go back raw. But I was scared because I couldn't sustain raw, but it always resonated with me. And I hadn't been vegan the whole time. I was only vegan because I was raw. It was more about the raw. So I decided to go raw again. And this time I started watching a lot of YouTube videos and really embracing the low fat version. Cause I was like, well, I've always done the high fat version. I'm going to try the low fat, even though I was scared of it because I was indoctrinated to believe we needed like all these oils and fish oil and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try the low fat version. And this time I'm going to eat enough because I was always under eating. And that's where I was like watching one of Fully Raw Christina's videos and someone in there said, watch Cowspiracy, Earthlings, and Forks Over Knives and you'll be vegan overnight. And I was like, sweet, documentaries. So I watched those and I was vegan instantly. I was like, okay, now I'm really going to be raw because now I was actually vegan. So I thought might as well just do raw. So I did it overnight. I cleaned out my cupboards. I started eating salads and fruit. And then as I was going, I was learning more and more about eating enough and why low fat is so important and all of this. And I went on to lose 70 pounds over 14 months. My cystic acne, adult acne that I had since I was 13 went away. My candida that I had for 15 years went away, and I was eating fruit. And my joint pain went away. My hormone cycle balanced. I mean, it took time, and every week, every month got better and better. But eventually I was just like, wow, this is amazing. So it's been almost 7 years, and I don't see myself going back anytime soon.
Incredible, because the people that I talk to that do a raw or living foods diet, they're very passionate about it. I don't hear them say, boy, this is hard, this sucks. They really love it. And I love that you had success at it. I think where I failed when I was raw for 2 years, I think it was 2003 to 2005, is I did it the high fat way. So not only did I stay fat, but nuts never satiated me. And I just didn't know to eat, that you could eat a lot of low fat food, you know?
Yeah, totally. I know. And that's what I find when I'm helping people online or doing coaching calls or anything. I would say 95% of the people who are struggling on a raw diet are just not eating enough or enough variety, right? For a good microbiome and all of that. Like, we can have the small amount of appropriate fats that we need, like chia seeds or flax, or maybe a little cashew cheese on your salad or something, right? But it's about the abundance of everything else that we need to get enough hydration and fiber and protein and all those things. And I found that was what helped me the most, was just increasing the amount of calories that I was eating every day. And right now I'm eating around 2,400 to 2,700 calories a day. Nate's probably around 25, 26. And when I was losing weight, I was eating 2,100 to 2,300 calories a day, but it was always low fat. It was the low fat that was the key to everything, and making sure I ate enough.
Well, I just love talking to young, beautiful people like you guys, because when I talk to people, whether they're raw or if they're doing starch solution, it just seems that it's so much easier to maintain your weight when you're willing to go low fat. A lot of people aren't, and I understand that, but I like to be able to eat all I want.
Yeah, me too. Our salad bowls are like massive, and we put like a whole head of lettuce and 3 tomatoes and a whole cucumber and sprouts and radishes and carrots, and we like to have those big salads. So, because we like to eat.
Yeah, we were making the salads in just a regular size bowl, or maybe like a little bit bigger than a serving bowl, but it was hard to stir it up and mix the dressing in properly. So we decided to go with a bigger bowl, which then of course made the salads bigger.
Right, because you're like trying to fill it even more.
How long does it take you to eat your salads?
I would say about a half an hour.
Yeah, about 30.
Focused.
Yeah, we'll play chess. So maybe like 1 chess game to maybe 2 chess games. Yeah, half hour to 40 minutes is definitely about there.
And it's good quality time, because like you said, we play chess. So because we're focused on the game, we're not talking at the same time. So there's a lot less gassy, bloaty stuff happening. Because I find that when you're eating with people and you're talking and eating, you're swallowing all this air, and then it just causes more problems.
I've heard that 80% of gas could be avoided by not talking and chewing properly. Well, that's the thing about raw or living foods. I mean, and I guess unless it's a smoothie, you have to chew it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's so important to be able to chew properly with, good healthy teeth, which, strengthens your jaw muscles. There's even breath work books talking about how we have more respiratory issues nowadays because we have been just eating such soft food, not a lot of fiber, right? Swallowing it whole, not really having to chew, the fibrous foods.
I had 2 experts on the show, New York Times bestselling author of Breath, and also Patrick McKeown. James Nestor is the first author, and they both said the exact same thing. It's like that's why our jaws are different, and that's why we have all these problems. We don't chew anymore because of processed
fiber.
Yes, yes.
So Nate, what's your story? What brought you to veganism or raw foodism or whatever you like?
So when I was, it was 2011 to 2012, over the holidays, I got really sick with the flu, and it was one of those flus that just sat me in bed for over a week. And I started to binge watch YouTube, and when you're sick, you want to feel amazing. So here I am, I got onto, I think it was the Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead documentary, saw that, and that really kind of opened up the doorway to this world that I had never been introduced to. I mean, I had heard about people being vegetarian or people being vegan, but living here in Southern Oregon. I was hunting, I was fishing. And so veganism and vegetarianism never really crossed my mind. But so went vegan, or I should say plant-based, because when you go vegan, you make an ethical connection, a compassionate connection. And so it's really tricky to go backwards. So I wasn't necessarily vegan, I would say. I was more plant-based for like a month. It was really hard because my family and friends, everybody's, kind of at me at different angles. Like, why are you doing this? What are you trying to prove? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to be healthier, and so I ended up putting the blinders back on and just going back to my old ways. And it was, let's see, a few years later that I met this guy, John, on the ski lift, and I had known about raw food and the healing powers of people going on 80-10-10 style of diet, right? Low fat, low protein, a lot of carbs coming from, plant sources, fruits and such. So I'm riding on the ski lift with this guy, and we start talking about what's going on in our lives. And I was working in the medical industry at the time in the cardiac unit. Actually, no, I was in the pulmonary unit at that time. And I had said that, I'd heard about raw foods, the power of raw foods and people reversing cancer with raw foods, living foods. And he's like, yeah, I reversed my colorectal cancer, my stage 4 colorectal cancer at the age of 42. I've been a raw foodie for 44 years. And I'm like,
you're 86? What?
You're 86 years old? Like, we're going up on a ski lift to a Black Diamond run. Here's this guy, 86 years old. And it was then he was all about sprouts and living foods. And, I kind of dabbled in the YouTube realm of who's out there promoting raw foods and whole foods. So I went home and started binge watching YouTube. Like, I got to figure out how to do this raw food thing. I want to be like John. I want to be 86 on the ski mountain, and if I keep going down the road that I'm going to be in the hospital bed, like the majority of people that I see, because they are not taking their lives in their own hands and making better choices. And that's when I found Lissa. I found Lissa's page. And I saw her transformation, and I binge watched her YouTubes, and I was like, I really want to support this girl. Like, she's got such a cool mindset and she's done amazing things. So I supported her by buying her book. It was her 30-day meal plan. And I really liked the name Raw Food Romance. Like creating a relationship with your food. It made perfect sense. That's the thing. It's like I'm seeing in the medical field, wow, we've really lost connection to nature. Mother knows best. Mother wants the best for her children, and Mother Nature grows all the stuff just the way it should be in nature. So let's go back to nature. Let's build that relationship with our food. So I bought her book, followed the meal plan for like 5 months, dropped like 67 pounds, and started making ice cream. And I started to make salads for my coworkers and deliver them around the hospital because they're delicious dressings. I would use all of her recipes, oil-free, high fiber, good calories. And it started to kind of catch on. And, so yeah, essentially that's my story on how I went. I mean, I'm leaving out a little bit, but I know we've got like a time limit here. So, but
you bought her meal plan, but then you ended up marrying her.
Yeah. So I bought her meal plan and, ended up going to Woodstock Fruit Festival. I met one of her friends there, Jack Albright from Raw Tropical Living, and was telling him my story. And was like, hey, check out my before and afters, man. Like, I used Lissa's book. She's amazing, right? Like, this stuff is delicious. Now, the thing that really drew me in was the pictures were so delicious looking. I was like, I could eat that. I was like, that looks like something I could eat. That's not just some, celery sticks and carrots. So he messaged her and was like, you should interview this guy for your YouTube. He's a great testimonial for your book. So I got back from Woodstock Fruit Festival on the festival fruit high and was like, hey, Lissa, I love you. Thank you so much for all you do. You've saved my life. I mean, I was just a fanboy, guys. Like, I was just fanboying her. Like, I'd like her pictures and be like, this looks delicious, But then I reached out, gave her my picture, told her my story. And then we set up time for the interview. And then after the YouTube interview,
I was all googly eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh.
we just hit it off. Like we just talked until like 3 in the morning. And then the best part of it, you guys, was the next day she messaged me. So that's a good sign, right? Like I'm not big into the dating world and whatnot, but I know it's a good sign when the girl messages the next day. So it just blossomed from there. We became really close friends online. She lived in Canada, you know, about 20-hour drive for me. So I didn't get to see her for months. And we would just talk online and she'd be like, hey, what do you think? I'm going to send you some pictures. My new book's coming out, Plant-Based Dips and Dressings. What cover should I use? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Raw Food Romance is asking me like what kind of book cover she should use. This is getting serious. So that's how it all went down, you guys. Yeah, and then Woodstock Fruit Festival 2018
yes.
was the year that I proposed to her at the festival in front of the, you know, everybody at the closing ceremonies, because we just felt like, oh, this is our community, you know, like we have so many friends from all over the globe here. And then the following year, 2019, we got married at the Woodstock.
Yeah. We had it all set up. We set up like a circle. All of the lovely friends that we have made like a fruit mandala. There was durian and everything. And then they had the little flowers in the aisle was like an empty coconut because they made the coconut water. So they had all these empty coconuts and they put flowers in it down the aisle. It was so cool.
It was really fun.
That is so cool. If there ever was a testimonial to buy meal plans, this is one.
Right?
Right?
I mean, you guys never know, right? I mean, I married the author. Like, wow, who would have thought?
Yeah. So Raw Food Romance was already the name of your channel. It's not because of YouTube.
Right, exactly. Yep. I started my Raw Food Romance actually in 2010. I started on Twitter because I was trying to be accountable to myself. And I thought if I had a Twitter, I could actually just like at least share, I called them daily raw formations, where I would tell myself, like, today I choose raw. Today I want to eat red vegetables.
Which I used every day.
Yeah.
Before she knew me, I would use those raw formations like, I'm a raw vegan today. Nate, there's some donuts in the break room. I'm like, I'm raw vegan today. Thank you.
Right?
Well, maybe it was prophetic. Like maybe, you know.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. I really
so.
do.
Well, Nate, you talked about her beautiful photography, and I'd love for you to show up close what her book looks like, because what people I think don't understand is that her book is $43 on Amazon, but if you buy the bundle, which is only good for a few more days, you get that book plus the burger book plus like 60 other books. See, to me, it was worth it just because that book is so beautiful.
Yeah, this is the nice cream book that we created together.
Yeah, so we put this together. We've got our story in here. And, you know, we eat with our eyes, right? So we wanted to have really nice pictures to showcase what these are like. And Lissa is a photographer, professional photographer by trade. She really knows how to dress up the plating. And, you know, so it's nice to have the full color picture. You get an idea of like, okay, that's what that meal's going to look like when I'm done. And yeah, we don't have the burger book in print, or, you know, I would show you that as well. But here's just some of the pictures. This one here, you guys, the carrot cake. Oh my gosh. So, but yeah, you guys get this in the bundle.
Actually, here's the digital version.
Oh, look it.
Yeah, there's
Perfect.
one picture.
There, yeah.
That's what we're making today.
It
There
looks
we go.
so good. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeanette made a great comment. First comes cabbage, then marriage.
Right? Cabbage all the way.
That's great. Yeah, and cabbage is so important to have in your diet. Oh my gosh. We actually have a couple of jars of sauerkraut and kimchi bubbling away over here.
And in the bundle, you're getting Nate's new book, which is called Dude Food, which is about the food for the good microbiome.
Yep.
And he's got a kimchi recipe, this recipe exactly in that book, and sauerkraut, and like a pulled fork burger.
There's some good recipes.
Yeah, there's some cool
So
recipes.
it's called Dude Food, but it's not just for guys. It's DOOD, because that's what I call the little microbes in the gut. It's like, these are our dudes. And they're
Well, also because that's what helps make your duty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know exactly, Chef AJ. You know what's going on.
I know a little bit about the microbiome. The thing that's so cool about the ice cream book is, like I said, you don't have to be raw. You don't even have to be vegan to want those recipes because they don't have any sugar or oil.
Yep. Right.
Yep. They are so good. And they're great for kids too.
Yeah, and we have most of the recipes in the book are low fat. Like, of course, you can't say no fat because even like a banana has a little fat, or even romaine. But there are a couple of higher fat options, and there's even some for like coffee lovers. You know, we've got some other, I was going to kind of branch it. There was going to be the raw natty section and then the raw naughty section, but we didn't want to have that negative connotation on, you know, entitling certain recipes naughty. But as far as proper food combining, they may not be looked at as highly within certain communities.
Certain ones, but the majority of the book is low fat, fruit-based, banana, and they're all banana-based. So.
Well, you know, and when I was working in the medical field, I would be making these nice creams for my coworkers who were dairy heads. Like, they loved Dairy Queen. They would get ice cream, you know, some of them every day. And I'm like, let me make you some of my banana ice cream. And they're like, oh, Nate, I don't like bananas. And I'm like, just try it out, you know. And man, I had them converted. They were buying $7 batches of ice cream from me every day after that.
That's amazing. What, you know, a lot of people, I mean, it's one thing if you're truly allergic, but some people say, how do you not like a banana? I mean, they're unparalleled for their sweetness and creaminess in plant-based desserts.
Yeah, they really
exactly.
are.
They are super unique and very hard to replace.
The trick really is having them like overly ripe. You know, when they turn to that sugar, they're not starchy, they're not gooey and real banana. The banana flavor isn't very strong, they're more sweet. So it works out in your benefit in a lot of ways, because the bananas that you'd toss in the freezer for banana bread or you'd want to throw away because they just look ugly with all the, you know, brown spots all over them looking funky. Those are the best bananas to use for an ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times they're put on sale too.
Yeah,
yes.
we'll go get 40-pound cases of bananas for $5 because they're just going to throw them away.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. So we just made friends with our produce guys, and we'll call them up and say, hey, you got any ripe cases? And they're like, yeah, we've got some. Put them aside for us. We'll come get 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gina wants to know where the kitties are.
Oh, the kitties.
Well,
we have one sleeping
and then the other one's up on the ledge.
On the ledge.
Yeah.
All right, that's so cool.
If we could have 2 cameras going, I'd show you guys. But yeah,
right?
They're just doing their cat nap thing.
It's third nap right now.
Third nap.
Third nap.
Well, are they raw?
They are not. We want to transition over to more raw, but Raja has issues with the certain food changes. So we have to go super slow with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're looking into moving them over to a more species-specific diet.
That's right. Species-specific.
I love that species-specific diet. That's so cool.
Right.
So you are going, tell us a little bit. I know the burger book is not in print, but it might be, right?
Yes. Yes, we are planning on having both the burger book and Dude Food to be available on Amazon by mid to late May. That's the plan. That's how we have it kind of arranged. We'll see how it goes, but we're hoping to have them released on Amazon mid to late May. But right now it's available as digital copies. So people can download it onto their devices. They can print it out with their computer.
Yeah.
They can do anything like that with the digital copies. So
yeah, and what's cool with the bundle is, you know, definitely for one, all the people coming together to really deliver the message and how delicious raw foods can be, how simple and easy they can be to make, and the cleanup is nearly nothing. But the value packed in there is just incredible, because the 2 of our books alone equal more than $50.
yeah.
So you get, you know, 60 plus books for $49.
Plus your exclusive interviews.
Yeah, your interviews, there's
all kinds of
courses
stuff,
in there.
yeah.
It's such a great opportunity for anybody wanting to expand their culinary skills and different options to make people just, you know, it's fun.
We all know we should eat more fruits and veggies.
Right.
So, I mean,
Right.
Well, that's the thing that's so great, because they're almost all the recipes in the bundle, and there's over $1,600 worth of content in over 60 books. Almost all of them are low fat. And even if you're not a raw foodist, the recipes will be so appealing, like the ones you're going to make today, like a Hawaiian pizza burger and pineapple ice cream. Who wouldn't want that?
Oh, man.
right? Oh my goodness.
I want it. That's
It's gonna
for
be
sure.
so good.
Well, you want to show us the recipe?
Yes. All right. So first up, let's make the burger patties. So we're going to be making the burger patties and a sauce. And to start out with, I also have a burger patty that we made yesterday with Chef Ocean that we will use when we're building the burger, just because it takes about 4 hours for them to dehydrate. So we'll just use that one as placement. But for this one, we like to use a food processor. You could use your blender if you want to, but food processor works way better for these specific
with the S-blade. And then as far as the dehydrating time, I mean, really, it just depends. You know, 4 hours might be a little long, but anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, it does seem to be about right.
Yeah, and if you're doing the low-fat burgers, they do need a little extra time. If you're doing like a higher fat one, they need less time. So really it depends on how thick you make the patties too. If you make them really thin, they won't take as long to dehydrate. So it just depends. But I'm gonna start by adding a small sweet onion to our thing here. I'm also going to chop this pineapple. So the pineapple we're gonna need to use three different ways. So we're going to have half the pineapple for the burgers. We're going to save the other half of the pineapple for the sauce. And we're going to save 1 ring of pineapple for a topping for a burger. So I will just chop this. And I've got my, I should use a bigger knife.
You want it?
Yes. So I've got my wonderful assistant here to help me.
Now, if we could just pin this in somehow, I could look like the fruit girl.
The fruit girl.
Like Carmen Miranda.
Yes.
Yes.
Carmen Miranda.
Awesome. Okay, so got this pineapple almost.
Yeah, and there's even a course in there on tips and tricks on how to use your knives by Constantinos.
Yeah.
And
kitchen skills and how to chop pomegranates.
Yes.
And great, like avocados,
how to open
onions.
how to open a coconut with a knife. Like, man, I've learned some cool tricks from him in real life.
Yeah, he's cool too. But his course is worth $100 and it's in the bundle.
Yeah.
So for $49, you're getting not only the burger book, dude food, the nice cream, your interviews. Constantinos' book is in there too. So it's just such a good deal. And it's only here till April 11th. So we're gonna put half the pineapple in the food processor and the other half of the pineapple, it's about a cup worth of pineapple chunks, give or take. And I mean, you don't have to be like exact with the ingredients. You can just add what you need. I think I might save one of these for our burger. So I'm just gonna add this leftover.
That's one cool thing about raw food too, is I feel like it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of get in tune with your childlike side because, you know, you're forming seed patties. It's just different than your traditional animal-based foods.
Yeah. And then we're going to add 6 mushrooms. So I have the CREMINI mushrooms that I'm going to add here. I'm just going to take the stems out and break them up a little bit. Nate is pitting the dates. We have 3 dates that we are going to be adding to the burgers as well.
Which I don't know if any of your guys' viewers out there know about dates, but man, dates are amazing, loaded with all kinds of good stuff, lots of fibers, super, super great natural source of sugar.
Yeah, so we're gonna add 3 dates to our food processor here. We're also going to add 2 peppers. We're adding a jalapeno and a red bell pepper. So we'll just chop this up. Actually, if you could de-seed that, that'd be great. And I will add the jalapeno. Now, if you want it not spicy, take out the center and the seeds. It'll still be spicy, but it won't be as spicy. So if you're sensitive to the spice, definitely take the inside and the seeds out. But we like it spicy, so we're adding the whole jalapeno.
That's right, I like that. I want it so hot that I have to keep eating it to stay cool.
So we'll add those to that. And then we have our bell pepper. We'll just chop this here. Thank you. Then add our bell pepper here. Then we have a couple more ingredients. These 2 ingredients are extremely important for low-fat burgers. This is what's going to keep your burgers sticking together. Because I've worked with a lot of different burger recipes and most of them have like 2 cups of nuts or the really, really heavy, high fat options. And the reason they are like that is to keep them solid, like so that they're actually a patty and you can actually eat it like a burger. But with low fat, because it's so, there's nothing really holding it together, we need something. So the magic ingredients are chia and psyllium. So you can gel your psyllium or your chia seeds in advance if you want to, but we're just gonna add a tablespoon of chia. And we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of psyllium. So when you're eating these burgers, it's also recommended to drink extra water throughout the day because the psyllium sucks up a lot of water. So it's good to stay hydrated. And we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk right there. I don't think we're gonna need to add water to this one, but you will need to add a little bit if it doesn't blend properly. But we're gonna add also 3 cloves of garlic. I don't think the recipe has garlic in it, but we like garlic, so we're putting garlic in. And then half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. Get that all in there. And we've got basil, but I'm gonna add that later. I've got probably a little bit of black pepper that we will add here. And then for spices, we're gonna add some oregano. We're gonna add, let's see, what do we have here? Tablespoon of oregano, because we want it to taste like pizza, right? The oregano is like the key pizza taste there. We're gonna do smoked paprika, about half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. You could use regular paprika too if you wanted, but we like it to have a little smoky flavor. And then we are going to add 1 tablespoon of onion powder. I think onion powder is probably one of my, aside from smoked paprika, onion powder is one of my favorite spices because it's just so, just brings so much flavor to our stuff. Love it. Okay, so now that we're done all of that, we are going to blend. Here we go. All right, and then once you've done that, you can add the basil to there and then just blend it a little bit. There we go. All right. It's that easy. It's that easy. Next up is the fun part. We get to make the patties.
Oh man, it smells so good. Now you can eat this just as it is.
Yeah, you could add it to like zoodles. You could put it on top of zoodles or pasta. Or yeah, you could really just put it anywhere. It's pretty good. I'm going to use the Teflon sheet. You could use silicone, a silicone baking sheet if you don't have these ones. Just because they're low-fat burgers, they're going to be really, really moist, and we need something to keep it from dripping and kind of like melding to the screen. So if you want, you can grab a.
I get to play too.
Yes, you get to play too. So now these ones are, they're a little bit softer. They're not like regular patties. So I like to flip it around in my hand a couple times and then I just plop it, not like that bad, but, and then you can form it onto the, yeah. And then just form it into the patty right on the sheet.
Did you cook a lot before you were raw?
No. I did do some cooking, but I wasn't really like a kitchen-y person. My mom and my grandmother used to have a cooking show in the 70s on cable TV. So they really had a lot of the cooking skills. But yeah, no, I just started doing a lot of recipe creation when I went raw. It was almost like raw brought me closer to my food. Like I have a really awesome connection with my food and I love to play with it and create with it. So yeah, I love it.
What was the name of the show?
I don't even remember. It was cable in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It was a local cable TV show. I can't remember the name of it.
What kind of cooking show? That's so it's in your blood.
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
What kind of cooking show was it?
I think it was just kind of like the standard stuff for families. There was a lot of baking as well. So they did do a lot of baking, cookies and pastries. My grandmother actually won a lot of awards and contests in the 60s for her recipes. However, her recipes weren't actually the greatest options, like, baking carbonara.
She was good though.
She was good. She won a lot of awards, but she also died of heart disease at the age of 47 in her sleep. So, and it's weird because I'm 41 and my grandmother died in 6 years from now for me. Like, it's really strange to feel that, or to like be at that stage in my life where my grandmother died 6 years from now. So it really is a big motivator for me to stay plant-based, be vegan. I mean, vegan for the animals, that's why I'm vegan, but plant-based and raw or high raw for other people out there. Like, I choose all raw because I want to choose all raw. Not everybody can do it. Not everyone can get all of the ingredients and stuff. So I choose it because I want to. And yeah, that's
So have any of your friends or family been influenced by your transformation?
Yeah, my mom actually, she is plant-based or high plant-based now. She had colon cancer and she went plant-based for like 4 years. So she's been on that path.
It's nice your dad is even kind of.
Yeah, my dad gets my books and his girlfriend will make my salads, and she'll message me and be like, hey, Lissa, what can I use instead of this? We don't have any at the store. And I'm like, oh, use this. And she'll make it. My dad will send me pictures. It's so cute.
It's pretty fun. So here's the patties, guys. And so we'll pop these in the dehydrator.
Yep.
Just like a burger.
Burgers, I know, right?
Your mom, if she had colon cancer, that's like, I mean, amazing. She's been able to keep it at bay now with.
Yeah, so far it's been 4 years since she had her surgery. She had no idea she had it. Just one day she like collapsed because her colon was all twisted with the tumor, was the size of a grapefruit. So her tumor was this big in her colon.
Crazy.
And they surgically removed it, and the doctor said they got it all, and she doesn't have any signs of it returning. But she also changed her diet. She was very high raw. She's plant-based. She's pretty much all plant-based.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's changed her lifestyle a lot. So I'm hoping that sticks and she stays with it so that she's around longer.
Another really cool plus, you guys, is how easy it is to just clean the dishes. You rinse them out, you dry it off, done.
And when you're not using nut butters or oils, it's so much easier.
So easy.
Yes, so easy.
Hey, so Nate, the gentleman you said that had colon cancer at around 40 and he lived, is he still around? Are you still in touch with him?
No, I didn't. He skied away and I did not get his number, or I don't know if I don't think he was on social media or anything like that, but I so wish that I would have got his number or something, because I really want to like thank him for one, but to pick his brain even more would be so cool, because I was only on the ski lift with him for just, maybe about 10 minutes.
Serendipity.
Yeah. And
I'd love to have him on the show. If you can think of his name, maybe we can track him down.
I know
John.
I know his first name's John.
Oh, that's a big help.
I know. And I haven't seen him up on the mountain. So I don't, I haven't gone actually at all this year, but I know maybe again, this year he will be,
oh my gosh.
He'll be 91 this year.
Wow.
So I know
And if he's watching.
I messed up.
John, if you're watching, we want to interview you.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh.
John, it's Nate. Remember me, man.
Hey, so Happy Hippie said, I bought the bundle, great deal, and asks, what can you use in place of psyllium?
You can use actually Irish moss if you want. I have a list of replacements in the beginning of the book. If you don't want to use psyllium husk, you could use Irish moss, because that will help too. You could add extra chia,
What about ground flax?
Ground flax, yeah, you could use that too. But if you wanted to keep it still lower fat, you could use vegetable pulp as well to kind of help bind it together. The psyllium is really meant to bind it and to suck up the water so it stays in a burger form.
The vegetable pulp does work great. If anybody out there does juicing, save that pulp for your burgers or your...
Yeah, because you can always add that to the burger to add the bulk.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be kind of runny. This makes it more like jelly-like, so you can form it easier. And once it's in the dehydrator, so we're not going to turn on our dehydrator right now, just so it's quiet so we can talk. But for about 2 to 3 hours, that's how long for the low-fat ones.
Yeah.
And then after 2 to 3 hours, you're going to want to flip the dehydrator tray and peel off that backing and then let it sit for another 2 hours or so until it's your own desired consistency. Like you can play around with them and take, like, you can even make like a test burger with what's left and see kind of how it tastes throughout the dehydrating process.
The best way to do it, guys, is say your burgers are on here.
Here, we'll just put this one on.
There we go. Put another tray over top and then flip it, right? And then you can peel off the other ones. That's the easiest way to transfer it.
Yeah, because it's hard unless you're using like a spatula or something. That's the easiest technique. And then you're just peeling the silicone or T-flex sheet away.
Those low fat burgers do take, I shouldn't have spoke too soon. They definitely take 4 hours.
Yeah.
Zana says, what do you have in the jars behind you?
Oh, so this is kimchi. This is a recipe that Nate has in his dude food book.
Yeah, so kimchi, this is sauerkraut. This is also sauerkraut, just made with red cabbage. This is great dude food, right? The ferments are amazing. They date back
We also have sprouts.
tens of thousands of years. Fermenting is just a fun process, super cheap, super easy.
Yeah.
When you say kimchi, I think of one of my favorite shows, Kim's Convenience. There's a
Oh,
character.
I love that show.
yeah.
I love that show.
Best show ever. Yvonne says, I love their story. I follow Lissa on Instagram and love her posts. She's answered my questions. I'm vegan for about a year and really interested in adding more raw. So here's two dehydrator questions. Christina says, what kind of dehydrator do you use? And Heidi says, if you don't have a dehydrator, can you use an oven?
Yes, great question.
Yeah.
So I'll let you answer the first one.
So the first one is what kind of dehydrator we use is called the Excalibur. An Excalibur is a great dehydrator. It's been around for a very long time.
We have the hot pink one.
It's a super great machine. Now I bought mine used on Craigslist. I had to drive like an hour and a half to meet the girl for it, but I got it for like 125 bucks. So you can look online or Marketplace. A lot of times you can find stuff there. We've bought Vitamixes off of Craigslist and different things. So, but there are other dehydrators out there that are great as well. Like I think Sedona, is Sedona the name? The Sedona one is pretty good. There's a few others. What's nice about the Excalibur is the tray size. There's this one here in particular is a 9 tray. And
I love that you can pull the trays out and put
Yes.
like bigger things in, like
Yeah.
mushroom caps.
As
or-
opposed to what I had in the beginning was like, I think it was a Sunstar. It was a round one and there was a hole in the center. So the trays were like a donut and it was tricky to do wraps or other things, but whatever works.
Yeah, Excalibur for sure. And then if you don't have a dehydrator, you can certainly use the oven. I'm not sure what kind of temperature or what you need because we don't eat the cooked food, but
Yeah.
if you wanted to, you could play around with baking it at a lower heat for longer and just flipping it halfway through, maybe after an hour or half hour, depending on what you think looks good. But you could totally, like, you don't have to be raw to eat these burgers and you don't need a dehydrator. You can use your oven. You can use a toaster oven. And I even have heard of people in the desert. I have a friend who lives in the desert. She actually used a piece of glass and had her ramen. I have a recipe called ramen, and she actually made the ramen outside in the sun in the desert. So
Which we'll be doing this summer.
Yep, we'll be dehydrating out in the sun this summer. So
Wow, that is so cool. Let's see if there's, Barbara says, just bought the bundle. Looks amazing. Thank you so much. Georgia says, I love all these raw food shows. I'm actually going to be doing a week of all raw or 5 days led by Dr. Doug Graham. I think that's in July.
cool.
So that should be really fun. Julie says, will the Ninja Foodie Dehydrator work? Some people have, it's like an Instant Pot air fryer combination. Or sometimes it's a dehydrator combination. I'm not sure about the Ninja, but maybe you've heard of the Breville where there's actually a dehydrator setting.
Yes, actually we have friends. Nate is house sitting for them while they're on a little holiday, and they have an air fryer that has a dehydrator setting. So really, I mean, any tool that you have that goes to around 115 degrees Fahrenheit, you can use as a dehydrator. You just need the lower heat and airflow is like key, because you want to help the air to get out so it's not kind of staying moist. Like with the oven, it's a little different because it's all enclosed. But if you have a fan, you can blow
Like
the
a
fan.
convection
Yeah,
oven.
a convection oven would work too.
Yeah.
Nice. Rachel says, how do you guys feel about using parchment paper in the dehydrator? You know, those Teflex sheets though, they're like not very expensive on Amazon. I think they're like 9 for $27.
I thought my pack was for, I think it was for under $20 for the 9. But you know, parchment paper would work. Sometimes what happens is the paper will want to lift a little bit because of the fan. And so what you could do is you could just put like a spoon or a butter knife or something to kind of hold that sheet down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It also depends on what you're making, because these burgers will not work with parchment because they're so moist. The more moisture that you have in the thing that you're dehydrating, the more the parchment paper will absorb.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work as well. It's good for like apple slices or whatever, but
you could use a cutting board too, like a.
We have these flexible cutting boards that we love. We just got them off Amazon. These would work as well because it's not a high heat. Right. So if you wanted to use those, but I personally prefer the Teflex sheets or silicone baking sheets. Those are amazing.
Yeah.
Silicone baking sheets are awesome. That's what I first used when I went raw, is I just went to the store and I bought a silicone baking sheet, and I actually had the same style of dehydrator that Nate had, and there was a hole in the center. So I actually cut my baking sheet to have a hole in the center so I could fit. So I could fit it into the round.
But yeah, you guys, these aren't the Excalibur brand of Teflex sheets. They're just the, you know, kind of a knockoff, I guess. But I got all 9 of them, I want to say, for like, I don't know, maybe $16 or something off Amazon. And they wash real easily. If you do have stuff soaked on there, you can just kind of let it sit with a little water on it, and the stuff just slides right off.
Yeah.
Well, do you know about the stuff that Brenda Hinton makes? Because we have Chef James Sant on the show Sunday. He's I don't know, 100% raw, but he's definitely high raw because he used to work at Living Light. And she actually makes these things for your dehydrator. Right. So it's like the perfect circle. So he's going to show them on Sunday.
So cool.
That is so cool.
We're friends with James, and he was showing on one of his YouTubes him using those, and they do look fantastic. He has she designed it to where it's perfect for the Excalibur, and it's got 4 circles in there to make like 4 tortillas.
So cool.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, she sent me some. I would show you, but I'm not anywhere near that room right now. Let's see if there's any other questions. You know, I have a question. So like, you know, I'm always in awe of people that can be raw, and I understand like a lot of the people are doing it the way Dr. Doug Graham recommends, 80-10-10, which is also low fat, and he doesn't include any oil or sugar or salt, which is the way I eat, but I'm high starch. But like, what's wrong with steaming vegetables? Because Brussels sprouts and broccoli, I don't like them raw, but I love them lightly steamed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's anything wrong with it. I feel like in the natural health world, we kind of demonize certain things, and especially in the raw community, people are like, no, cooked food is poison. But I personally don't believe that it is. I feel it's like, if it's going to get you to eat broccoli, then do it, right? I'm not like, I don't believe that it's evil or bad or poisonous or what have you, but we will actually cut our broccoli and marinate it in the dehydrator, so it softens it a little bit.
And as well as like when you cut the broccoli and let it set out for 15 minutes.
45, actually.
Is it 45?
Yes, 45.
Maybe it's the garlic was 15.
Yeah, garlic's 15.
So the longer that the broccoli sits chopped,
the more sulforaphane is created before cooking, because the myrosinase enzyme actually dies in cooking. So if you chop it up and let it sit for 45 minutes and then cook it, then you've created the sulforaphane, because the sulforaphane is heat resistance, but the enzyme to create it is not. So once you chop it, I mean, this is I learned it from Dr. Greger.
It's pretty incredible.
So, yeah, that's a really interesting question because a lot of people do demonize the steamed veggies, and I don't think that it's bad if you are going to eat them, right?
Personally, like a great way to go, a good balance for, you know, the average person who doesn't want to become a raw foodie is 70% raw, you know, smoothies for breakfast, fruit for your snacks, a good salad for lunch or for dinner. And then you've got 25%, you know, to incorporate your steamed and, you know, cooked foods, your cooked vegetables, cooked whole foods, plant-based.
Yeah,
and then, you
whole
know,
foods.
And even having that 5% wiggle room. If you're, you know, the trick with the wiggle room area is it is tricky for people to really be able to not keep it, you know, at 5%. Maybe it grows to 10%. Then, you know, next month it's like 15%. Pretty soon you're back to having a beer after work every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really, honestly, it just depends on where people are and what they want to do. And I know like I said before, not everyone can do a fully raw diet or even want to do a fully raw diet, but it's mostly about adding more raw foods because our gut microbiome prefers the raw fiber as opposed to the frozen or cooked fibers, right? They'll still eat it, but it's not as whole as it would be in nature. So, I mean, it's all good, right? You can actually even add some raw broccoli to the steamed too, to kind of give it the extra.
Oh my gosh, I could eat a whole cookie sheet worth of steamed Brussels sprouts. Broccoli too, steamed broccoli, I could probably eat 3 or 4 crowns of broccoli. Raw, maybe 1,
maybe a crown,
2. Yeah, definitely different.
For sure.
You mean, okay, so I saw another question, but it was about which, yes, Gina says, how do you eat raw in the winter when it's cold?
Ooh, that's a great question because I did my first 5 years of my raw diet in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Where it's cold. It's like winter 7 to 8 months out of the year. And we get I think the coldest that I ever lived through up there was -47. So it gets cold, and it's cold most of the months. We only have 111 growing days in that area. So the summer isn't very long. And
there's definitely some tricks. One of the tricks that really helps is to keep like certain foods that you're going to have for that particular day on the counter.
On the counter.
Put your cucumbers on the counter. If you're washing your lettuce after you cut it, you could even rinse it with some tepid water, some room temperature water, or even kind of warmer water. Of course, you don't want to have a hot lettuce, but
or wilty.
Wilty. You know, bell peppers. Put that on the counter.
Yeah, all your fruit, or all of our fruit, we keep on our counter because we eat it fast enough that it doesn't go bad. But we keep all of our fruit except berries berries go in the fridge, but everything else is on the counter.
And a little tip for having your fruit on the counter is wash your fruit when you get it home, because those little fruit flies, they lay their eggs in the skin of the fruit.
Yeah, they live like right inside.
Yeah, so you're like, I just bought this fruit. Why do we have a house full of fruit flies? You have to wash that fruit up.
Yeah, that's such a good tip. But yeah, so keeping your food room temperature helps a lot because it's not fun in the middle of winter to have a cold salad with cold lettuce, cold cucumbers, cold tomatoes, cold radishes, and a cold dressing that you had in the fridge all day, right? And it makes it cold, and it's like, I don't really want to eat that. But if you take the food out or make the food in advance and let it come to room temperature, maybe blend the dressing in your blender on high for a minute to warm up the dressing so the dressing's warm. You can also make warm soups in the blender. You can use the dehydrator to warm stuff up.
The soups are great. You let the Vitamix go, or your high-speed blender go for a couple of minutes. Some other blenders have the soup setting, and it comes out nice and warm.
Yeah, nice and warm.
Or if you have a steamer, like a espresso steamer, you can hold your cup of soup up there and give it a little steam to warm it up.
Yeah, that works too. And another thing that I noticed with a lot of people is that they are already, like, when you go over to a raw diet, you naturally undereat because it's so much fiber, so much hydration, and it's hard to eat enough. So if you are under eating, the first two systems in the body that downregulate are your metabolism and your hormones. So like women will lose their periods, we lose our hair, and our metabolism is down-regulated. So we're conserving energy because we're not putting enough energy in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're raw in the winter and you feel like you're cold more often, it might just be because you need to eat more, put more fuel into the body. So the body's not like, whoa, I'm hibernating, I can't spend a lot of energy. So you feel colder, right? But that's another one. And another tip I would have for me that worked really well was a lot of spices. Like cayenne and rosemary, because that's a circulation one. Doing jumping jacks, warming up,
Yeah.
you know, like the little classic things. But yeah.
Yeah, and maybe get into the Wim Hof breathing techniques. Do those ice baths and get some deep breathing going on. Get that blood circulating.
Yep, totally. But yeah, those would be my top tips for winter.
Thank you. So Gina says, I could do raw except for sweet potatoes, LOL. What is high raw?
Oh, yeah, high raw would be anything over 70% raw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a guide. Like we don't have to follow any specific labels.
Yeah, the 70-30 thing or 80-20, I think is a great balance. 80% or 70 to 80% raw foods, and you've got 25-30%, 20% to 30% worth of cooked whole food, plant-based.
Yeah, and
know?
it's a great step. And then if you feel like you want to add more raw, then that's cool too, right? You have your salad you make your big giant salad with your little sweet potato in it, or your steamed broccoli, and just, it's about abundance, right?
We have a lot, exactly, the diversity, the plant diversity. We have a lot of friends in the community that, they're not fully raw. And neither are we, because we use smoked paprika and, like
cashews aren't fully raw.
There's a lot of things that are.
And you guys are so normal.
Thanks.
Yeah,
and non-judgmental. I was making a joke.
Oh yeah, normal. Yeah, totally. I know, and I don't want to be one of those people who's high and mighty and whatever, because I'm trying to get like 97% of the rest of the people onto eating more fresh fruits and vegetables. Like you don't have to be fully raw unless you want to.
And the way to do it is to get the bundle, because Patty says, could you go over the bundle again? I mean, there's like 60 books, guys.
There's a really cool one in there too by Eat, Move, Rest, Aaron and Dusty Stanzik. And it's a 5-day raw reset. And it's so simple. Like it really inspired me for my next book, how it was laid out. I loved it. It was super simple, but something like that. I mean, it's so cool because you don't even have to think. Like there's the shopping list, there's the tools you're going to need, there's all the ingredients you're going to need to buy. Here's what you're making. And it's just like,
you just do it.
It feels a little weird, of course, though, if you're not used to it. Just like if you were learning to bake cookies, you have to do the flour mixture first. Like you can't do it with the other mixture, the butter mixture, right? So there's definitely different things that you learn but overall, gosh, it's so quick and easy, delicious, simple cleanup.
I think there's over 1,000 recipes in there. So like if you bought the bundle for $49,
3 years
today, you'd have over 3 years worth of daily brand new recipes that you could make.
You would never eat the same thing for 3 years.
That's incredible. Well, you say easy, but BB, who's watching live, says it's a lot of work to eat raw and also vegan. I've had 4 spinal surgeries, so it's been difficult to prep and cook for myself. Any ideas to make this way of eating easier? We'll get the bundle for one, but what are your thoughts on making it easier?
Gosh, smoothies and ice cream.
Yep, smoothies and ice cream. Soups are really great too. But again, we want to make sure that we're chewing
the
as
chewing
well.
factor is huge.
What I like to say for people who are rushed or don't have time, they have their kids running everywhere, whatever, pre-chopped stuff is
pre-chopped stuff.
Gold.
You could just buy a bag of pre-chopped lettuce, pre-chopped cabbage, carrots. Some places have sweet potato or
places even have the pre-spiralized.
Yeah, and then you just throw it all in a bowl, and the only thing you'd have to do is blend a dressing.
Maybe chop some tomatoes, a cucumber.
Yeah.
So like we can make our lunch salad in under 10 minutes if we have a lot of the stuff already made. But do we have the cabbage in the fridge?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we buy this big, huge, massive bag of shredded cabbage from a restaurant wholesaler. and they let anyone come in, so anyone can buy it. But we buy this big, huge, giant bag.
Yeah, so it's kind of smaller now, but it's all pre-chopped.
Oh my God, I want that. Do we have that in Palm Springs? I go through so much cabbage, and I'm so
It's called Smart Food Service, or it's basically just a restaurant wholesaler.
Yeah, restaurant wholesalers. But Smart Food Service, they might have some in California. Not sure.
And you can get big, huge bags of green onions, mushrooms, carrots.
We're talking like
because it's for restaurants.
40 stalks of green onions for like $4.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
We have spent $10, in the mid of winter.
But yeah, like big containers of mushrooms and but a lot of pre-chopped stuff.
Yeah, if you do the pre-chopped stuff, that should make it a little easier. And then of course, blending, if you make your dressing, you could make enough to where you can jar it up, and fat-free dressings stay in the fridge pretty well for up to 3 days. And the higher fat dressings, like the nut and seed-based dressings, they can last
about a week.
Yeah, about
5 days.
5-6 days, and they're still really good.
So that's what we do. We make double batches. So if we're making lunch, we'll make a double batch so that we have enough for lunch tomorrow. We don't have to blend tomorrow. So it's kind of nice to have that.
I checked them out. They have 14 locations in California, but they're all up north. Sacramento, San Jose, Santa Rosa. Darn. Oh, but thanks for the great visit.
They're all too far from you, huh?
I'll see. So you would call them restaurant wholesalers, right?
Yeah, restaurant wholesaler.
What a great, see, I always learn something on this show. That is a great step. So Barbara says, how often do you guys go shopping and purchase produce in particular?
That's a great question. We have Safeway just like a couple blocks from us. So if we do need something, we'll hop in there real quick. But we do like to take a trip about 30 minutes into town to go to the wholesaler and to go to some of the bulk stores.
We do that about once or twice a week.
It's really once a week for our main haul, where we're getting 5 or 6 packs of 6 hearts of romaine, or iceberg, those packs of cabbage, the green onions. All these kinds of things we'll grab once a week on Tuesdays, normally the day we go in. But we also have the farmer's market and the food co-op, and then the grocery stores if we do need to get something real quick. But really, we try to keep it down to like the main trip being just the once a week.
Yeah, and then throughout the week we go. So I would say we buy food maybe 3 times a week, give or take.
Yeah.
We're always getting something. But the nice thing about going more often is, number one, you're spending less money because you're only getting what you need. Number 2, everything's fresh. And as a raw foodie, it's not like we want to get like lettuce on Sunday and it's going to be all wilty next Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's nice to go more often so your food's always fresh.
Yeah, like we'll get the bags of grapefruit at Costco, and they last, there's like 9 in the bag. And if you have one every day, Lissa doesn't always have the grapefruit in the morning, I do. And so a bag lasts me until my next shopping trip the next week. You kind of find your rhythm. But yeah, definitely twice a week that's pretty much a standard, I would say. For sure, if you live close to places, you could go every day, every other day. But I know some people, what's so nice though, skipping around here, is that when you are in the motion of just knowing what to get, say raw foodie, you go to the produce section, the bulk section, and you're out of there. Like there's nothing left in the store. Like there's nothing in there really,
Maybe the spices if you run out of turmeric or
and that's
something.
that's normally in the bulk. So it's like bulk and produce. Costco for us, we're the fastest Costco shoppers ever because we're going in there for like 3 items out of there,
Yeah, I know. I love the organic dates, the organic power greens at Costco.
They're the best deal. Unless you order online. Like we buy cases of MEDJOOL dates off of eBay because it's just a better deal, and we use a lot of dates. But Costco is the next best deal.
Absolutely. There's a question. Do you follow any type of fasting protocol?
No, we don't do any of the fasting protocols. We eat right in the morning as soon as we get up. We don't follow any rules. We fast when we sleep, and that's pretty much the extent of what we do. But
and not to say that fasting isn't a very powerful and healing modality for people. There's a lot of really amazing testimonials and stories out there, but we got to feed the dudes, the little dudes in here, they like the fiber, And you know, juicing and any kind of fasting, you're cutting off your food supply to your little dudes in there, and they don't like that. Sometimes, you know, certain things can happen that aren't really necessarily beneficial if you're going for health. I think, you know, me personally, like anybody who can go, you know, say a month raw food, that is a great cleansing protocol as it is, if it's low fat, super high carb.
And just go back to Whole Foods and eat when you're hungry. Because I feel like a lot of people coming from, like, say, eating disorders or what have you, they want to be in that window or whatever. Like, it really depends on your mindset too. And I just like to eat, so I get to eat whenever.
Yeah.
Wow. So question is, do you have a special fruit or vegetable wash you recommend?
Ooh, yeah, I can grab that. So we used to use baking soda or vinegar, which are both excellent options. But we've lately been really onto the Norwex brand, and this is the fresh produce wash.
And then we've got the scrubby mitt,
which is actually on special right now.
And it's
Norwex.
super cool. It's just kind of like a little bit of a roughness.
You know what Erin taught me?
What's that?
She said you can actually put it inside out, and it's soft on the other side, so you can do like your mushrooms. Right. It's so nice to have this mitt to wash.
So yeah, we'll use the produce wash, the Norwex produce wash, and you know it's full of all kinds of really harmful chemicals, so it's great.
Non-harmful chemicals.
That's so funny because I just went to one of those online parties for Norwex and I didn't know what to order.
Yes, the fruit veg wash is amazing.
And you know,
we use all the towels too.
It's just, they're high quality. I really do like them. What really got me is our friend, she's, you know, a Norwex gal, and she did like she swiped the grease from like chicken breast on her counter and had the black light, and she showed me like the cloth demonstration, and I was sold. I was like, we need Norwex cloths in our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have the fruit, the produce wash. They do other soaps for like your laundry detergent. What's nice too about for washing the floor is their mop is great. You just use water, wash your floor, and buff it out. You got a little scrubber on there. No Pine Sol or any of that kind of stuff. We don't need that kind of stuff in our lives, right? I mean, it does bring back memories of being a kid. You smelling the Pine Sol.
Pine essential oil.
But yeah, you can throw some pine essential oil in there.
Yeah, so that's what we use to wash our produce. But if you weren't able to get the Norwex, then baking soda or vinegar work really well too.
Right.
That is great. Do you still have part of a recipe and a dessert to make, don't you?
We do. So we've got our pineapple from the other half of our pineapple, and let's get building this sauce.
I'm in.
So we've got half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes that we're going to add.
Now these sun-dried tomatoes, you guys, we also get those at the restaurant wholesaler, and they're oil-free.
Oil-free.
Just in a bag.
But you can actually make your own too. Just use Roma tomatoes. Yeah. I love Roma tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, and slice them about a 1/4 inch thick and throw them in your dehydrator while you're making your burgers. And you'll have sun-dried tomatoes after probably 8 hours.
Or if you live in the desert.
Yeah, you just put them out in the sun. But yeah, so we've got half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes, and we've got, I need 3 dates. Okay. So.
We use those
2 or 3 dates. Let's put 3 dates. We'll make it sweet.
Nice and sweet.
Nice and sweet. And this is a simple recipe. So really all it is a cup of pineapple, half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes, 3 dates, 2 cloves of garlic or more if you really like garlic. And then we have a 1/4 cup of basil and oregano, but we're going to add those last. So.
And the reason being that we add these last is why?
Because when we're building a sauce like this, we like to make it warm, and it takes a little bit of time to blend. And if you're blending fresh herbs for a long period of time in the Vitamix, it releases a lot of the bitterness, and the sauce just does not taste very good. So blend everything up first. And if there's any fresh herbs in any recipes like dill or cilantro or anything like that, add it at the end after it's been blended, and then just pulse it in, so that you get the nice bright flavor without the bitter. Yeah. So we're not going to blend this super long.
How much do you need?
1 tablespoon. But we will blend up our sauce. Add a little bit more water to get it to go. Just a couple pulses. There we go. Perfect. So that's all we got to do for the sauce.
Beautiful.
You could put that in a bowl.
Sure.
You could use that sauce on other things too, not just the burger.
Oh yes. So it smells
So
it smells like pineapple pizza, like Hawaiian pizza. It smells unreal. So yes, you could totally put it on pasta. You could put it on your pizza. You could make it into a soup by adding more water. It is so good. Very, very, very versatile.
Yeah, right over some koodles or zoodles.
Zoodles or koodles, yep. Even cooked pasta, like you can add it to anything really. Anything where you need Hawaiian pineapple, tomato, Italian sauce.
That's another really fun thing too is, you know, my sons, well, my oldest son is mostly raw. My youngest son isn't, he'll eat raw stuff, but we'll make pasta and then use the sauce on his pasta. Like if we're doing like a cashew cheesy kind of sauce, we'll just use that sauce right on his noodles. And he loves it.
So it saves time in the kitchen because we're not making 2 separate sauces. We're making 1 raw sauce and we're just cooking it for him. So it makes it so much easier than making 2, right? We don't want to make 2 meals. We're just boiling his pasta and adding the raw sauce to it. So
exactly.
It's much easier.
And you guys check it, like rinse your stuff right away, bling and it's clean.
he loves to rinse everything right away.
Well, it's just so nice when you go to want to make something, you don't have to sit there and soak it and scrub it.
That is the great thing about raw food, I gotta tell you. Georgia says, are you guys healthier than people who don't eat raw? Are your numbers better?
You know,
we need to get our tests done.
It's been a minute, but before you moved down here, I had my numbers, so my blood work done. And yeah, I mean, they were like, you're a pillar of health. But of course, it's kind of interesting because what's the standard? Our standard, I feel like, has been kind of lowered in a lot of ways, right? Like, oh, you know, the average person has this blood pressure. Let's just kind of move the markers here. And, you know, I mean, yeah, though we have great blood work and numbers, but we were just talking about that, how it's time for us to go back.
Yeah, it's time for us to go back and get another test just to make sure that we're getting everything that we need.
But we do supplement, you know, we use the B12. We're here in Oregon, so vitamin D is very, very important. You know, we have the K2.
And sometimes we'll do iodine or I think also we have the Daily Green Boost, the barley grass juice powder, but we don't do it often. It's just kind of like the random here and there, but B12 and D are like our top ones that we take.
So important.
But,
on any diet. It doesn't
matter what diet you're eating. It's they're environmental vitamins.
Do you guys use any like protein powders or anything like that?
This is our protein powder.
Yeah, the sprouts are just packed with protein.
Yeah.
Like pound for pound, they just trump everything out there.
Yeah. So we'll put them in our burger patties.
They make great burgers.
Even blending in our sauces too, or just putting them on salads. We eat on average, like on a good day, we eat each about 2 cups worth of lentil sprouts within our salads.
Yeah, lentil sprouts or broccoli sprouts.
Radish are my favorite.
Sprouting is great. And I have a whole section in my book, Dude Food, on sprouting and how to sprout and how you can do it, you know, efficiently. As well as there's also another book in there from Perfect Foods Inc. And they're like the OGs of sprouting back in New York. We buy a lot of our sprouting seeds from them.
And on a side note, if anybody buys the bundle, so the $49 bundle, $1,600 worth of ebooks and courses and other stuff. If you buy the bundle, send your receipt to Perfect Foods Inc. on Instagram, and they'll give you 10% off any of their sprouting seeds. So that's where we get our lentils, our broccoli, our radishes, and they have like sprouting kits and wheatgrass and all kinds of good stuff. So 10% off for anyone who buys the bundle and sends them a copy of their receipt.
Oh, that's cool. You know, I just started sprouting and I'm not loving the taste of broccoli sprouts. Any advice how I could learn to love them?
You know, it's like a newborn or a young child trying something new. It might take a little while to adjust that palate.
Yeah, the broccoli sprouts have a pretty intense flavor. I like to mix them in things that have, like, I love putting them in burgers. Yeah. Because it kind of is masked by everything else. So you still get the benefits. I like to put them in the salad, and you know, maybe you only have like a quarter cup or a half a cup worth of them in there. And if your salad's mixed up real nicely, you can't.
And you don't taste them. That's true. How long do they last once you put them in the fridge, generally, sprouts?
Maybe like 4 days. You should be eating them fast.
How do you know when they're bad?
They start to just like...
They get kind of like a milky, slimy on the bottom.
And they smell kind of funny. I was going to say, go with your gut instinct. You smell it. It just smells. But then you have to also make sure you're smelling them when they are on the counter. Like, how does that smell? Yeah. It's kind of funny, like... I remember, never forget, Jerry Seinfeld had this bit about milk. He's like, how do they know that that's the exact day? They stamp it right on the box. Like, do the cows tip them off like July 3rd, you know? And he's like, you know, it freaks you out when it's past the day. You're smelling it. You're like, what's it supposed to smell like? I don't know. You smell it, you know? Another good thing to do is to, even if they are done and you put them in the fridge, like we made some alfalfa or clover. And you could actually we like to transfer it into another container, but you could actually put the whole jar, your sprouting jar, into the fridge, and then every day continue to rinse, because then you're rinsing off any of that stuff that can kind of stagnate in the bottom of the jar. But or you could even put the sprouts underneath like an absorbent towel, like smells like Norwex. Smells like good earth right there. You could put a Norwex towel or even paper towel in the bottom of a container and then put the sprouts on top. So any moisture goes into the towel and they're less likely to go bad. Because it's when they sit in their own juices, sauce, that they go bad faster.
That's funny. Here's a question from Pure Living Nutrition. Sometimes I get stomach aches eating raw veggies and have to add in some cooked starch. Any thoughts on how to eat raw veggies without getting stomach aches and having to add cooked starches in?
I love this question. So normally when people get a tummy ache, it's because they don't have enough of the good bacteria to digest that specific food. So we use broccoli, for example. If you don't eat a lot of broccoli, and then all of a sudden one day you have a whole crown of broccoli, your gut microbiome is like, whoa, 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 that's way too much, right? So the suggestion is to go slow. So still do your starch and all of that, and just do like one little floret of broccoli with your starch, and do that for about a week every day. And then the next day, add 2 little florets of broccoli to your starch meal, and then add 3, like go slow with it. It's like going to the gym. If you don't go to the gym for like 6 months and then you go and you can't just lift what you used to lift or lift 50 pounds right away. You have to start with the 5s, right? Start with the 5s, and then the next week you increase it to the 10s. You got to grow the troops of the little dudes in there. Yeah. And the only way to do that is to, incorporate more slowly. Slowly. Like cabbage is another big one. I used to not be able to eat a lot of cabbage, and Nate and I, we will eat like 4 to 5 to 6 cups of shredded cabbage a day. We eat a lot of cabbage. We never used to be able to do that. 180 to 100 grams of fiber a day when we calculate like what we're eating. But that's because we've been working out. Those dudes in there they're doing their thing. They're multiplying. And so it's really tricky for someone who doesn't eat high raw to come over and eat. It's just like doing an exercise that you've never done before. You may not be as flexible or as strong as the person who has been doing it for longer. And all that is that microbial life in there. There's just not enough of those little dudes to break that down. Yeah, and in order to grow them, you have to feed them. So it's not about eliminating the foods. Like if broccoli bothers you, it's not a good idea to eliminate it completely.
Right.
Just lower it down to the amount that you are able to digest and then slowly increase it from there.
There's some other tips too, like after you eat, really it's best to go take a walk.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So
Doesn't matter what diet you're on.
Yeah. So if you eat something, say a big raw delicious meal like out of the bundle, and you're sitting down and maybe you talked a lot while you were eating it, and you're sitting the rest of the night, you know, you might feel a little crampy, a little gassy, and it's just because you got to kind of move some stuff around by moving your body.
Get up and go for a walk. It
Yeah.
really helps digestion
But
so much.
we still have a little like, ooh, I feel a little full, you know, from that meal. What did we have? Or, you know, we pass gas. We're regular people, you know, like it's not like raw foods is going to be something where you're never going to experience a pimple or pain.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
just a really healthy way to get more fruits and veggies.
You're just basically lowering the dial of your chances to get these different ailments that most people are getting. Like 1 in 3 are going to be diagnosed with some form of cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 3, you know, colon cancer being the 3rd leading cause of death. And that's because we're not even getting 10 grams of fiber a day.
Yeah.
So mother knows best and wants the best for her children. And Mother Nature designed the food just the way it should be for us to be eating.
Exactly.
You betcha. A couple of folks are asking if you guys do all organic.
Ooh.
Good question.
We're about 50-50.
Well, we really
more
strive-
60-40.
We strive to go with the clean 15, the
Yeah.
dirty dozen, right?
Yeah.
So if you look up, if you guys aren't familiar, look up the clean 15 and the dirty dozen. That is a great guide to go off of for buying and investing in yourself in organic foods. Because there's certain foods where it's not necessary to purchase it organically. Now, that being said, for sure, we may be in a spot, maybe a little town or something. We're not used to this, you know, they don't have very many selections. They don't have a great organic selection. You know, hey, it's better than driving through Chick-fil-A. If, you know, we're going to have a non-organic, you know, head of lettuce.
And also another thing too is availability and cost, because a lot of people say, well, yeah, like I can't afford all organic and all raw, so I just don't do it.
And
that's
a lot
the
of things too, don't mean to cut you off, is I was thinking there's a lot of companies out there who don't necessarily have the budget to get themselves certified organic, yet they still follow a lot of organic protocols. There's a whole world, you know, to be discussed and tap into as far as, you know, whether organic foods are really detrimental to our health. And of course, you know, not to say that glyphosates and these different things that are being sprayed on the crops aren't a real thing. Definitely, that's something to take into consideration. But we know a couple of farms that can't be organic, even though
don't spray.
They follow veganic growing practices, but they haven't got themselves certified, but they are essentially organic.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd much rather see people be able to eat a vast majority, like variety and volume and options. I'd rather see them eat a lot more raw food conventionally than try to break the bank or starve trying to eat only organic.
Yeah, it really becomes this thing where we can like overthink things.
Yeah.
And we're like, if I can't be exactly perfect, I'm not going to do it at all.
Yeah.
And really the best thing would be to not do nothing. And
do something,
something,
right? Add more. It's all good.
Nice. I think we have one more recipe.
Yes, we are going to finish the burger and then we're going to make the nice cream.
Sure, and the ice cream's fast, couple minutes.
Yeah, ice cream's fast. But I'm going to show you guys how to chop the ICEBUGER lettuce bun, because this is like one of the top questions that I've been asked is how do you chop the lettuce bun?
Maybe I'll grab the laptop and bring it a little closer.
Sure. So you're gonna need a head of iceberg lettuce, and 1 head of iceberg lettuce will do, oh, look at you. A head of iceberg lettuce will do 2 burgers. So it's perfect for a couple, or if you have a family of 4, get 2 heads, but this is how we do it. So first up, we're gonna cut it in half, and I like to cut it crosswise, not lengthwise for the oval. If it's perfectly round, it doesn't matter, but I like to do it crosswise. So we're going to cut it straight down the center like so. And then you've got 2 halves. Then I like to cut out the stem on an angle. So we're going to cut it just on an angle like this and just on an angle like this so that you have this piece. This piece goes into the compost or to, we have a friend who has rescue pigs, so we give our compost to them. But then we'll do it on this side as well. So we've got our 2 heads now ready to go. The next step is we slice it down the center of that little triangle indent that we made. So we've got, this is one burger, and then this will be the other burger. So now that we have these done, now the lettuce is gonna, some of the pieces are gonna fall apart, and you can just actually set that aside and use it for another salad. But you're like, the lettuce is gonna talk to you. It's gonna tell you kind of like where to open it in the center. So you're just gonna take out the center part, just like so. However thick you want it. Sometimes you can take a little more, but again, save the inside for your salad. You can always put this in a salad. So here's one of the buns. This will be the bottom. And then we've got this one here, and it's telling me that it wants to go there. See, it's super easy to just pull it out and then you save this other half. So there's our lettuce bun, and that's how easy it'll be. Now we get to make the burger. So we're gonna start with some of our sauce. So we'll put a little bit of the sauce in the bottom. So right here, our sauce, our nice pineapple tomato sauce.
My goodness, so
yes,
good.
Yes, yes.
I have to just try some. It smells so good.
If you want to cut me some onion rings,
sure.
that'd be sweet. Here's a, and if you can chiffonade the basil, we're going to chiffonade the basil and cut some onion ring slices. I'm going to take this patty. Again, this isn't the same patty. We're just using it as placement because the other ones need 4 hours to dehydrate. So you put your patty on next.
Now, I'm not that educated in the terminology. What does chiffonade mean? I want to make sure I'm doing this right.
So
here.
what I like to do for chiffonade is I like to clump it all and then just do it like super, 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 super thin.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Chiffonade.
Chiffonade, yeah.
See, I'm learning something every day, right?
Then we will take our pineapple slice and put that on here. And then I want to do some tomato slices. So I'm going to slice some tomatoes.
Probably just one, right?
Yeah, just one's good. I'll do 3. All right, so we've got 3 tomatoes slices on here. Then we will do the onion. I'm going to strap this here.
Pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
That's what I love about ropes. About raw food is the artistry and the beauty, the creativity.
It is so much fun.
It's
it
so
seriously
fun.
is.
You want more?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
So then I want to show you guys how I cut avocados.
Well, actually, you know, you could cut the tip off now.
Could. I'll just do this.
Oh my gosh, this is the coolest trick, you guys.
Okay, so first we do the avocado.
Ooh,
look at that one. I know.
nice
It's a great, perfect avocado. So this is my favorite trick of all tricks. Now, when you scoop out an avocado, it's the end always gets in the way, and it's like got the stem, and it's kind of weird, and it's not the greatest part. So what I do is I cut it right on the end right here. Just cut off the end, and then Nate always eats the end. So this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like that. And then Nate, if you want to scoop this out.
So check it out. It's so cool with the end being cut off. When you go to scoop, the handle doesn't get caught in that little area. So we're just going to scoop it right out. Look at that. It's just beautiful. It comes out so nice. You don't have to fight it.
Perfect. And then we have our avocado. So we can just cut a couple slices off that.
Look at there. Oh my gosh.
And in the burger book, I have a recipe for avocado fries that you could put on this burger. They are so good. So if you get the burger book, definitely check out the avocado fries.
You guys, if you've never had an avocado fry, a really good one, it is incredible. If you close your eyes honestly, I'm not even joking. It does taste like it could be a potato.
Yeah, it's the texture. Because they're dehydrated for 2 hours, that's like the most perfect time for them to dehydrate. Anymore and they start to be chewy.
Of course, the recipe of
Yeah.
what to roll them in and how to cut them so you can get as many fries as you can out of an avocado. Incredible. And you know, I mean, even though it's a higher fat item, it's not deep fried in oil.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is a better choice than having a potato fry, but there's nothing like a potato fry.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with an air fried potato fry if you do that.
But it is so incredible. I could not believe when she made those avocado fries. I was closing my eyes and I was like, this is weird. Like it totally
tastes so good.
Seems like it could be a potato fry.
So I'm adding a little bit more sauce, and then we will add our red onion on top. And then comes the top of the bun, and we just we'll put it this way. And there we go.
Oh my gosh.
Would you like a bite?
God, I'd love to eat that. That looks amazing.
Right? And then we also like to cut it in half. We'll just cut it like so.
Oh man, here, I'll take one over.
Okay. Yes, look at that. Oh my goodness. This is so good.
You think you'll have a restaurant one day, Lissa?
Look at these.
We've talked a lot about it.
I mean, look at that burger. It's just so crazy.
Right? And then I also totally forgot to put the basil on, but you could
So
totally add the basil.
So
You
good.
can add the basil.
You want pictures of these ones?
No, that's all good. We can eat them. Do you want to eat one?
You can eat on the show. It's fine. Well, guys, check out the burger book and the nice cream book, because like I said, separately, they'd be, I don't know, close to $100, but you get both those books plus 60 more if you check out the bundle. And
these are really fun to serve up to anybody, carnivorous eaters. I love serving it too, because they do look at you kind of sideways like, wow, that's really good.
And also in the bundle, I wanted to add that I have a special book in the bundle that I wrote specifically for the bundle. It's called Food Journaling for Success. And it's an ebook that you can actually fill out. Like you can click the little check marks and fill out the boxes. It's
interactive journaling book.
Yeah, it teaches people how to plan ahead instead of just reflecting on their day. So instead of saying, oh, I had this and this and this and this for my meals, this is how I felt. And then we're missing a really key component of food journaling, which is the proactive part, where you're planning the meals for the next day. You're like, no, tomorrow I'm going to have this smoothie. I'm going to have this for lunch. I'm going to have this for snacks. I'm going to have this for dinner. And this is how I'm going to execute it. I'm going to make it in the morning. I'm going to stop off at the store and grab that thing. Like you're actually creating a plan to make your diet a success.
Yeah.
So instead of just winging it and you're like at lunch and you're like, I don't know, what do you want to have for lunch? I don't know. I don't know. You're hungry. And
that's really when we mess up, because we get so hungry. We're like, give me anything. I need, what do you have? A bag of chips? Give it to me.
Yeah.
You guys, these are the greatest. The Debbie Meyer green bags and the green Tupperwares. I'll store the iceberg lettuce in here. And if anybody knows about iceberg lettuce, it rusts really fast, right? Well, these bags, it's incredible because they'll last. I have had this stuff sitting here sometimes for 3 days, no rust. It's really weird. I thought it was a total gimmick, and I was like, well, let me buy it and try it out. And works great. The worst part about these, though, is having to wash the bag, because who wants to wash a bag?
Who likes washing bags, right?
Yeah. Cool. You know what I like about those green bags is you can take them to the store with you, so you're not taking a plastic bag from the grocery store.
Exactly. So awesome. I love that you mentioned that.
So cool.
Good.
Okay.
All right. So it's nice cream time.
Nice cream time.
Nice cream time with the Nice Cream King.
All right, you guys. So we're going to look around and see what we have here to even use. And I think I'm seeing a pretty good one that we could make here. Let's do, this one is not in the books, okay? The books, the Nice Cream book, the Inside Scoop, which is in the bundle, has several recipes in there.
Yeah, there's 106 recipes in this one, and it's in the bundle. So if you want to grab the Nice Cream book, It's there, and you get to enjoy all that ice cream.
And then also in Dude Food, my other new book, which is in the bundle as well, and that's Food for the Good Microbes. These are our little dudes in here, so it's not just for guys. That also has recipes, 14 new recipes that aren't in the inside scoop. And this is going to be a new recipe because why not? We're on the show. We're Chef AJ's show here. We're going to make something new. So you guys, we're going to use, in order to make the nice cream delicious like soft serve ice cream, I've used the Ninja. I've used the food processor with the S-Blade. I've run it through Yonana. I've used a juicer, like the slow masticating kind of juicers. And the Vitamix, hands down, is the best machine I have found because of the quickness using the accelerator wand, the tamper, being able to force that material into those blades. So what's really important though, is there's different size crafts or pitchers. This one here is the narrow base. It's not the wide base. So the wide base is going to be a little bit different amount of liquid and bananas. You might have to make a little bit bigger of a batch of nice cream if you have the wide base Vitamix. But in this base with frozen fruit, frozen bananas and frozen fruit, it's best to start off with some form of liquid. I have a quarter cup of liquid in there. It blends beautifully. If you don't have any liquid, it's really hard on the machine and it won't blend as well as, opposed to adding the liquid. But what we're going to do is we're not going to add liquid to this one. We're going to add a fresh Altolfo mango. So with this, I don't even need to cut it because you can, I don't know if you guys know how to cut mangoes. Some people ask, how do you even cut a mango? And I missed that step. Maybe I'll cut another mango for if anybody's out there, but you can slice it, you give it the fan, and it's just, oh, it's so beautiful. Great way to eat it like that. But either way, we're going to scrape the mango meat with a spoon. And this one is a very nice ripe mango. So we'll put that right in the Vitamix. Both cheeks, both mango cheeks will go in the Vitamix. And that's going to be our liquid. We're not going to use any liquid in this one. And then we'll eat the seed here in a moment. Now, looking at this, I don't want it to be too much. It looks like it's going to be good. So we're going to use the whole, fresh, ripe mango for the liquid. We're going to use an 1/8 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And we're going to, can you grab me the turmeric?
Yes.
And we're also going to use an 1/8 teaspoon of turmeric. Now these two combined, the turmeric and the black pepper, is a great combo. You won't taste it in the ice cream, but you're getting the benefits of the pepperin and the curcumin in there. There's a whole science behind it. It's beautiful.
Woo. And I'm just slicing up this avocado because I'm going to make avocado fries after. So I thought, might as well.
I'm glad you're making those. That's awesome. So you guys, frozen bananas, frozen pineapple. This is from Costco. Their frozen pineapple chunks are delicious. So we're going to use, you want to grab me the cup there?
Yes.
About 2 cups of frozen pineapple. A lot of times, once you make it so often, you can just eyeball it and know about how much to use, but I'm going to use the measuring cup because we want to keep it pro on Chef AJ's show. So there we go. 2 cups worth of frozen pineapple. Oops, you're all crazy. So the bananas, you guys, I put them in these Ziploc bags. They're not stuck together. And the way that I do that is you start off with an overripe, spotty brown, funky looking banana. You peel it and peel several of them, place it on a plate, put it in the freezer, flash freeze it, right? So you put it on the plate.
Yeah, just gonna put it on a plate, just like
that. Put it on a plate.
Put like 5 or 6.
Freeze it.
Pile it up.
Yeah, and if you have several in there, then you take it out of the freezer. You can put them in the plastic bag and they don't stick to each other. So that way, when you're ready for ice cream, you don't have to go pounding the block of frozen bananas apart because you want ice cream right now. So you guys, these bags, I start them brand new for frozen bananas. And as soon as the bananas are empty, I fold the bag, put the bag back in the freezer, there's no sense in having to wash this bag.
Yeah, and some of these bags we've been reusing over and over again for almost a year.
So we're going to use 2 whole bananas, 2 cups of frozen pineapple, 2 whole frozen bananas, and a whole frozen mango, a little turmeric pepper, or turmeric powder and pepper. And that's it. Okay, now to blend this to perfection, you guys, there's the way that the pitcher is shaped is it's like a square. So you're going to want to push 4 sides and in the middle.
Yeah, let's do this straight up front.
Okay. Okay. So you guys, it's going to sound like your Vitamix is going to take off. Like it's going to sound like a jet.
Yeah, it's going to sound like a jet.
So, but the important thing is to get it running full blast. Okay. It's going to be very loud. It's nice to put your headphones in this section. So you're going to blend it full blast, hit the 4 corners, and eventually the Vitamix is going to make this sound and it's going to be pulling the mixture in, and you know that it's blending very properly and you don't have to tamp anymore at that point. Okay, here we go. Let's time it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, you guys.
Sometimes sounds scary, but
it does. Sometimes it sounds scary, and look at this beautiful deliciousness. I could have let it maybe go another second and it would have blended all of that, but I do like a little bit of the fruit left on top because it's like a little jam or jelly on top. So what we do at this point, this is where Lissa a lot of times comes in and makes it look real pretty with stuff to put on it or around it for the picture. But look at this. It's just beautiful.
soft serve nice cream.
Soft serve nice cream. I wish that you guys could smell it, and I wish that we could give you guys a taste of it.
I wish we could make some for Chef AJ.
I know.
I know. I want.
Cream.
I want.
She needs that.
People are saying, can they live in England and get the bundle? Of course, you can live anywhere because it's virtual.
Yes, it's all digital. So
Yeah.
All you have to do is go to the website, link in any of our bios or in the description of this video. You can go and grab the bundle for $49.
So check this out, you guys. I just had to bring it in close so you guys can get an idea of what this is like. I mean, it's pure soft serve.
And your book has so many recipes like that. They're easy to make, and you've got the beautiful photographs of all the different flavors.
Exactly. Yep. All ready for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, flavors like pina colada, strawberry lime. I'm looking at this book, blueberry lavender, cotton candy, tropical punch.
Who doesn't like ice cream?
Right?
Or ice cream?
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And the best thing is there's no dairy.
Yeah. No dairy.
Don't need
low
the dairy.
fat.
Oh my God, you've got key lime pie ice cream in there. Oh my God.
For breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, whatever. Midnight snack. It's fine. Now, some people do have a problem eating cold food. You know, Lissa likes hers to be a little bit more soft. Like, you know, she'll let hers sit out for a few minutes. Me, I'm like, I don't know. I got a problem.
Yeah. Well, and
the biggest spoonfuls, I'm like, whoa.
you sometimes get an ice cream headache. And the burger book has much more than the Hawaiian burger. It's got a mushroom burger, a Mexican burger, a curry and chutney burger, a barbecue burger, sweet onion burger, spicy burger, garlic lovers burger,
There's like 144 recipes in there.
pita citrus burger, BLT burger, smoky carrot burger, super green kale burger, oregano Greek burger, cauliflower masala burger, crab burger, fresh herb ranch burger, apple cranberry burger, mushroom dill burger, sprouted lentil burger, pulled pork burger, Tuscany burger, and it goes on and on.
Yes, there are 60 burgers. 40 of them are low fat with the chia and the psyllium, and then the other 20 are moderate, like there's a little bit more nuts and seeds, but I capped it at max a cup. and you're splitting it into 4 burgers. So you're really only getting a small amount. If you have it with a big salad, then it's still decent to have one of those. But yeah, 60 burgers in that book. I put my whole heart into it.
Oh, and the photography is amazing. Marcy says, what liquid did you use? Did you use liquid? I don't.
Oh, for the nice cream? No, so the liquid was the fresh mango. If you don't have liquid, like you could put coconut water, regular water, maybe some date water. If you have like dates that are rock hard, you can soak those dates overnight and use that water is great. Maple syrup. But you can also use just fresh fruit. Because
it's so hydrating that it acts like the liquid of choice.
Or fresh berries. So 1 mango, you know, I should have measured it. It was probably about a 1/2 cup worth of fresh fruit instead of a 1/4 cup of liquid.
Right. And Patty says, can you store the nice cream?
You know, you definitely can. It turns into hard ice cream. Actually, I've got a bowl of it.
Yeah, he made some the other day and put it in the freezer. It gets really rock hard. You have to let it sit for about 20 minutes for it to get back to a softer state. But you can put it in the freezer.
Look at this, you guys.
That's the chocolate one.
It's the chocolate with got brownie chunks on top, which the brownie recipe is in the Dude Food book. So yeah, you just let this sit out for a few.
Yep, and then you just scoop and enjoy.
Wow. So there's a question. What do you guys do for exercise? And this one may be too personal, but how often do you poop?
3 times a day I poo. Yeah. I love my poo.
It's probably, like, 2 to 3 times. Some days, depending, like if you have a whole melon, we might, go more. But typically 2 to 3 times.
2 to 3 times.
And really the idea is like hydraulic, right? You put something in this end of the tube. It should be kind of like working its way out and other stuff is coming out, right?
So if you eat 3 times a day, technically you would have 3 bowel movements a day.
That bowel transit time is important. That's another reason why colorectal cancer is such a predominant, killer, is because people are chronically constipated.
Yeah, not enough hydration, not enough fiber.
Yep, and it's not like it's a unpleasant experience because we're not constipated.
Right?
They're nice duties. Yeah.
And for exercise, we actually just got what's it called?
It's a jump start. It's a jump sport. It's kind of like the Bellicon trampoline with the bungee cords. We had the spring one, but it's a little noisy. So we got this one on Craigslist. It was so cool.
It was $60. They're normally like...
The lady was just down the street. So, but I take mountain bike rides, long mountain bike rides, and we go hiking a lot, rock climbing. We go for walks 2 times, sometimes even 3 times a day, just, even if it's just for 20 minutes, just to breathe some fresh air. But the rebounding, for inside, we have also our booty sprout machine, so we can do our hip thrusts.
Hip thrusters.
And, we have our yoga mats. We do some yoga. Now, that's definitely something that, there's always room for improvement. Lissa and I both are really striving to improve our sleep cycle, with this bundle and getting these books done and the advertising and marketing and stuff. Our sleep cycle has kind of gone a little wonky, and which, kind of everything goes a little wonky if your sleep's not on.
Yeah. So we're working at increasing our exercise and stuff, but
because definitely food is so great, but like, I think it was Rosalind Graham who described the wheel.
The wheel with the spokes. She has a book in the bundle too.
Rosalind Graham's got a book in there, and she describes like, our life is kind of like a wheel, like a bicycle wheel, and it has several spokes, right? Well, diet is only one spoke. So if you're not getting good sleep or good hydration, stress management, or love and connectivity, all these different spokes, if they're not in line, then
your wheel's all wonky.
Yep. Yeah. So people who get overly obsessed with one thing like diet or cleansing or whatever, they're neglecting those other spokes. Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. Claudia says, are mushrooms safe to eat when dehydrated? Dr. Furman recommends them being cooked.
Yeah, that's a controversial topic.
I know Chris Kendall has done a lot of research, and Chris Kendall likes to do them dehydrated. We don't eat them raw straight. We always marinate and dehydrate, so it does have that little bit of heat. So it's kind of like a middle range. It's not cooked, but it still gets the sun heat or
Yeah.
warmth to.
And not to say that there aren't maybe certain properties that are released when they have, been cooked. Like, there's certain properties that are, released in garlic, that you don't get, when it's cooked as opposed to raw. But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We've never had a problem with mushrooms.
Yeah, it's been
so 7 years for
7
me.
years for you. It's been, over 4 for me, and I'm still here, still hiking.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are just such a wonderful couple, so delightful. And the recipes, we spent a lot of time on the show getting to know you, but the recipes really, if we had just taken them, we would have been done probably in, I'm guessing maybe 15 minutes.
I was going to say 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's really fast. That's another cool thing about raw food. I mean, and especially fruit. I mean, that's the fastest food there is. You just cut it and eat and go.
You got your orange, you just eat it. It's super easy.
But these recipes, they're fun. And I know I'm really excited, so honored to be a part of this bundle with so many other creators and people trying to just deliver the message on how many different ways you can play with your food, create that relationship with food. It doesn't come in a brown paper bag, from somebody, somebody in a drive-through. There's connection there. And food is energy, it's information. So what kind of information are we putting into ourselves on the daily is really important.
Yep.
Well,
Whole food, good win.
This was just a wonderful press. So guys, even if you don't get the bundle, just check out the books, check out their Instagram, because the photography is gorgeous and the food looks amazing. And please try these recipes. Well, it's so nice meeting you and getting to know you a little bit.
You too, Chef AJ.
Definitely.
Pleasure.
All right, we'll have to have you back because this was so much fun. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. If you like culinary demonstrations, come back tomorrow when Jill Nussenow, who's also a registered dietitian, is going to be making some recipes in an Instant Pot, which I'm guessing you probably don't have much use for.
No, but it's super cool. Add it to a raw salad. Have it on the side.
It's so cool.
Well, maybe we can find a way to do something with an instant. What would a raw fooder do with an Instant Pot?
There's got to be something.
There's got to be something.
Now you got me. I'm gonna have to do a little digging. There's got to be something we can do.
All right, great. It's so nice to meet you. Take care, guys.
You
Bye-bye.
too, Chef AJ.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.